Ukrainian national sentiment against Russia was severely negative due to a great famine, Holodomor. With the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine, it is expected that the national sentiment between the two countries will worsen further. The Great Ukrainian Famine of 1932 to 1933 took place in the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic under the USSR and Stalin. The event is also known as Holodomor, which means mass killing by hunger. Holodomor means starvation and mor means mass death. Russian writer Alexander Solzhenitsyn stated that the estimated resulting population decline ranged from at least 11 million to as high as 15 million.
The number of deaths due to food shortages, including miscarriages, nutritional deficiencies, and a decrease in births due to disease, which are not covered by some statistics, is certain to be considerable.
It is consistently argued that the famine was a politically planned famine because it coincided with Stalin's collectivization policy at the time.
In particular, in Ukraine, the massacre is emphasized due to the influence of an anti-Russian sentiment. However, the debate over its origins is still ongoing in academia. It is estimated that about 3 million people died, and this had a profound adverse effect on relations between Russia and now independent Ukraine, which split following the collapse of the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, Stalin tried to produce food in a planned and efficient manner while maximizing government control through a socialist collectivization policy.
However, self-employed farmers naturally resisted because the fruits of their hard work were transferred to the collective farms instead of themselves. Therefore, collectivization itself, which was a major goal of communism at the time, also developed slowly. Grain production was far below the expectations of the authorities.
In Ukraine, the land was particularly fertile and abundant, and the influence of independent farmers was traditionally strong.
However, as the Soviet government began to suppress the kulak, rich peasants, who provided most of the grain along with the collectivization policy, productivity sank. As the collectivization policy had disastrous effects due to opposition from the peasants, Stalin had no choice but to drastically reduce the crop expropriation plan. However, since collectivization had already ruined agricultural productivity to such an extent, in the case of Ukraine, the worst-case scenario could not be avoided even though the amount of expropriation was reduced by 1/3 from the original plan. Moreover, the problem of livestock farming was also serious. As the system of raising livestock suddenly became collectivized, the Communist Party members who had no agricultural knowledge ran into all kinds of problems.
There wasn't enough feed, and the weather didn't help either. Also, in their basic agriculture, when horses plowing fields and doing other work collapsed from starvation, Another vicious cycle began that disrupted sowing and other agricultural activities.
Russian writer Mikhail Sholokhov, who grew up on the banks of the Don River, where famine was devastating Ukraine, described the group literally as, "Let's eat what others give."
At that time, mechanized farming had not yet been developed in Ukraine, so draft animals such as horses and cows were essential agricultural tools.
The absolute shortage of livestock directly led to a sharp decline in agricultural production, exacerbating the food shortage.
In addition, crop yields were poor around 1932, a result of a combination of unpredictable weather and agricultural sabotage. In this situation, there were cases where there was no food to make a meal immediately, after forcibly filling the requisition amount allocated by the state. The country that most harshly faced this situation was Ukraine. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian court ruled that the famine was a crime of genocide by the Bolshevik leaders. During the Soviet era, Ukrainians had strong national feelings, and these days, the Russian invasion of Ukraine will exacerbate negative national feelings between the two countries. Thank you for watching the video Holodomor Part I provided by historian Current Events. I'm Tony, and Mia, Helena, Katie, and Leah have contributed so far as narrators. Thank you.